Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to VMworld 2021. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are. Hope everybody and their loved ones are safe in these trying times. I'm Ajay Anthony, Senior Product Line Manager, part of our Service Provider and Edge Business Unit at VMware. This is my 16th year with VMware, and I've had the good fortune to participate and bring to market quite a few 1.0 products and solutions. Along with me is my partner in crime, Vish Kalsi. Vish?
Hi, my name is Vish Kalsi. I'm a senior product line manager with Cloud Business Unit at VMware, especially focusing on multi-cloud and VMware Cloud. I've been with VMware for last 6 years and in the industry for over 20 years.
Thanks, Vish. In our session today, we'll be focusing on answering a few key questions that we expect are on top of mind for our CSPs, communication service providers such as yourselves. How reliable is it to run network functions in the public cloud? Don't hyperscalers provide an economical path of growing my infrastructure as my subscribers grow? Don't hyperscalers provide a path towards accelerating my time to market? How about what happens to my existing investments in on-premise infrastructure? What changes do I need to incorporate into my operating model? In this session, we will look to address these and other questions that CSPs in the telco industry have when considering the move to public cloud. We also showcase how VMware is uniquely positioned to address this with forthcoming hybrid and multi-cloud solutions for CSPs. We will provide architecture examples of hybrid and multi-cloud architectures that help address common use cases. Here at VMworld 2021, we are excited to announce VMware Cross Cloud Services. This is a family of services to build, run, and secure your application across any cloud. We will delve into this in much deeper a little later in the segment. Just to keep everybody on their toes, features here that are mentioned are subject to change and must not be included in our contracts, purchase orders, or sales agreements of any kind. With that out of the way, let's take a look at exactly what we will go through during our session together. We will first talk about a dilemma that CSPs face when talking about taking their infrastructure and transforming it for new value-added services. We will talk about how VMware addresses this from a multi-cloud perspective, what our focus is. We will talk about what VMware is doing from a telco operator perspective, how we are solving challenges that telco operators face today. At the end, we will introduce Telco Cloud Platform Public Cloud, the components that make up the public cloud, and the architecture and use cases in which they would be most valuable. With that, let's dive in. In the last 18 months, there have been an uptick on CSPs partnering with one or many hyperscalers. These have been done with an outcome in mind and to counter any risks that they see. The expectation on that outcome is that the partnership between two of the biggest forces in the market will provide the necessary push for the use cases to be developed and enterprise adoption to be accelerated. The risks, on the other hand, are that if these fail to utilize the partnership and differentiate their capabilities, the CSP could be reduced to just connectivity providers. The dilemma is very prevailing and alive among CSPs as a challenge that they need to solve. We here at VMware feel that a multi-cloud strategy, especially now, addresses this challenge. To understand what this is, I'd like our VMware Cloud Product Management Leader, Vish, to speak to that in more detail. Vish?
Thank you, Ajay. And now let's talk about what is VMware's multi-cloud strategy. We'll talk about what the challenges are and how we are addressing it. So talking about the challenges, the biggest challenge what our customers face is there are different systems. So there is heterogeneity. There are inconsistent stacks. There are different skill set and tools needed for each of these clouds, whether it is private cloud, whether it is public cloud, whether it is managed cloud, whether it is edge cloud. So the reality is not ideal. It's all fragmented, and there are siloed teams and investments which our customers are having. So what is needed is we need a consistent cloud offering which have consistent infrastructure and also consistent operation tools. Because what we have seen is like, if we don't have that, it basically results in decreased agility, which basically adds to more time for deployment. It also adds to higher risk because the skill sets are not up to date, so there is a risk. And thirdly, it also adds to higher cost. What we have seen is like, for a typical 1,000 workloads, it costs almost $1 million to move that workloads into these multi-cloud environments. Next slide, please. So let's talk about requirements also about multi-cloud. So the biggest requirement is like, there should be a unified infrastructure so that all these clouds and infrastructures are compatible, they are resilient, they are also secure as well. Then second bucket is definitely related to, it should support any applications, whether it is virtual machines, whether they are containers, Kubernetes, etc. Now, the third piece also is very critical, which is unified management and operations, because you need automation for deployment, you need automation for lifecycle management, you need optimization for the workloads which you're deploying. And then lastly, you want that to be extensible also, because cloud customers are deploying in cloud to take advantage of the burst capabilities, to scale in, scale out kind of capabilities. So that is also very critical. And lastly, customers are also looking for advanced cloud services like migration, ease of migration. They also want services like disaster recovery and cloud ecosystem. Next slide, please. So how VMware Cloud addresses all these challenges and the requirements which we talked about. So VMware Cloud is a bold evolution what VMware is offering. We have expanded the definition of VMware Cloud. We started many years back with one offering, which was VMware Cloud on AWS. Now we have extended this offering to many other clouds, like with Azure, with Google, with IBM, with Oracle Cloud, etc. and etc. So what this is, a single platform we are giving to our customer for all apps deployed in any of the clouds. So it represents our unique multi-cloud infrastructure on which we have also integrated our Tanzu platform. This gives a consistent infrastructure across any public cloud, whether it is AWS, whether it is AWS, whether it is Google Cloud, or even on-premises also. So we offer two services on premises. One is like customer managed data centers. And also we have a service which is with partnering with Dell EMC. We are offering this service where customer doesn't have to spend any CapEx on that. So this means we can maintain any infrastructure with a common stack from our VMware Cloud Foundation. We can have a consistent infrastructure on each one of these platforms. Not only that, the VMware Cloud provides common cloud services across any of these platforms. And on top of it, you can very easily integrate our management tools like Cloud Health and vRealize. And on top, you can run any applications, whether these are desktops, whether these are traditional apps, or these are modern apps. Next slide, please. So as I talked about, like the VMware multi-cloud strategy is to work across any platform, whether on public cloud or whether on premises, whether it is customer managed, whether it is VMware managed, or it is partner managed. As you see on this slide, we partner with all these vendors across public clouds. So what is common across this is with VMware Cloud, you could have consistency in building, running, managing, connecting, as well as protecting your workloads. So that's the key advantage which VMware Cloud is providing. Next slide, please. So now let's dive a little deeper into how this solution looks like for VMware Cloud, for example. It is similar for other hyperscalers also. So what VMware Cloud is giving you is the best of both worlds, where what you get is a consistent stack of SDDC, which consists of our vSphere, vSAN, NSX, and vCenter portfolio. So all this remains same, whatever you have been using on premises, whatever tools you have been using on premises. Now with VMware Cloud, what you can do is easily integrate with your private data center. So with vCenter Hyperlink, you could have a single vCenter managing both your workloads on premises as well as on VMware Cloud. Not only that, now you can also integrate and take advantage of any AWS services, native AWS services, for example, Lambda, for example, Elastic Load Balancer, RDS, etc., and etc. So because VMware Cloud sits on the same backbone, so you get very high connectivity using all these services. Now, then the last point is like regarding connectivity. So we offer very flexible connectivity to on-premises, either by direct connect, which customers get a very high-speed connection, or they can also leverage IPsec on this direct connect. If they want to secure their data, encrypt their data, they can take advantage of IPsec. So again, just to stress again, this is a VMware delivered, operated, supported solution. So there is one vendor which is providing you the solution end-to-end. You can easily integrate with on-premises as well as with native AWS services. Now with AWS, we have a global footprint. I will share more details in the next slide. Next slide, please. So let's talk about other hyperscalers also. So we talked about solution on VMware Cloud on AWS, but as I mentioned earlier, we partner with other public clouds also like Azure, Google Cloud, IBM, and Oracle Cloud. Each one of these solutions are little unique. And the little differentiations are there between all these solutions. So customers have this flexibility of picking and choosing whatever fits best for them. For example, for Azure solutions, customer might take advantage of this particular offering because of desktop productivity, because of desktop licensing, Microsoft licensing, Microsoft native Azure services. So these are some of the benefits which customers can leverage if they are on Azure solution. Similarly, on Google Cloud solution, customers who are looking for AI and ML kind of workloads, a tighter integration with G Suite, if they are looking for, that is a solution which customers can pick and choose. Lastly, like if customers are looking for more flexibility in terms of managing their SDDC stack, they can also get bare metal from Oracle Cloud. So we offer customer all these flexibility in picking and choosing what fits best for them. Customer can pick and choose, but the important thing is the infrastructure, the stack remains same, so they can integrate between any of these clouds as well as on-premises without changing anything, without changing any tools or re-architecting anything. So that's the key message we would like to pass on to our audiences here. Now, let's talk about the next thing, which is availability. So as this solution is available today in 128 countries, so almost like 15 million workloads are running on VMware Cloud. That's a very big number. So let's see where all we have services. So we have services for AWS in 21 different regions. So that's for AWS. Next is for hyperscalers. When I talk about hyperscalers, those are services from VMware Cloud on AWS, VMware Cloud on Google Cloud, VMware Cloud on Oracle, VMware Cloud on IBM. So these are the services available across the globe from our partners, different hyperscaler partners. And lastly, we will talk about VCCP partners. We have around 4,000 plus, 4,500 partners across the globe where you can leverage VMware Cloud services. So that means you consistent stack, which you have been very familiar with using on-premises, you can get from any of these data centers across these globe. As I mentioned earlier, 128 countries, Across the globe, we offer this service. Now, let's talk about, we have talked about multi-cloud challenges. We also talked about multi-cloud requirements. Now, we also talked about how VMware Cloud helps in addressing all these challenges. Now, let's talk about what VMware has to offer specifically to our telecom operators. So Ajay, could you shed some light on it?
Thanks, Vish. So what I wanted to talk about today is around specifically what VMware is doing for our CSP partners. Now, let's set some context. Let's talk about what we do in reality versus what an idea is. In the broader marketplace, some people sometimes think about VMware primarily through the lens of the enterprise. However, as you can see here, we have a huge presence in the telco space as well. We have a large, very successful portfolio for mobile operators with our cloud infrastructure, SD-WAN, NFV, and service assurance products deployed in mobile networks around the globe, supporting more than 900 million subscribers. That's a total of 3 million and above VMs deployed. We also have a large ready for telco cloud program that certifies VNFs to run on a VMware platform. We've deployed over 210 VNFs. You can find them on our marketplace and see what, and we are constantly adding to that. VMware's telco cloud portfolio is grounded in a consistent, developer-friendly, and multi-cloud platform designed to enable an open, disaggregated, and vendor-agnostic ecosystem. Here we see telco's cloud platform, consisting of telco cloud infrastructure, our virtualization and Vim layer, Tanzu, a container and Kubernetes automation and management product, Telco Cloud Automation, our network automation and orchestration product, all of which is assured with Telco Cloud Operations, our network monitoring and assurance product. This product suite, TCP and TC Ops, is designed to be deployed across any cloud and serve a myriad of environments, from the core to the CSP enterprise edge and throughout the RAN. Now, as we mentioned, this entire portfolio stems from the core all the way to the RAN. We are future-proofing your transformation with VMware. And this is how we've done it. We introduced vCloud NFV that included a bunch of components that served a specific purpose. Late last year, we introduced what we call Telco Cloud Infrastructure, which is the platform on which all network functions relies, and introduced the Telco Cloud platform for the core, with Telco Cloud and the inclusion of Telco Cloud Automation and Tanzu Standard. Earlier this year, we introduced Telco Cloud Platform RAN. And as you heard at the keynote, we introduced Telco Cloud Platform for the edge. And introducing the Telco Cloud Platform for the public cloud. This is, as you can see, it's the same components with the same capabilities across all parts of the network. Given that we're introducing Telco Cloud Platform Public Cloud here, let's take a closer look at what the differences would be for running it on the core. The way we see it, it's a common platform with differentiated advantages. When you look at the left, it comprises the Telco Cloud Platform that you would deploy on premise. This is on or hardware that you own, deployed by yourself, and managed by yourself, which you would have to work with multiple parts of your team to be able to get to a resolution when you have a issue. In the case of Telco Cloud Platform, public cloud, it is a VMware certified platform that runs on top of hyperscaler hardware. As Vish had mentioned earlier, this hyperscaler hardware can reside on any provider, including all hyperscalers. From a procurement perspective, you get with a single SKU, you get hardware, software, and operations. The deployment of this is under 2 hours. From a management and a life cycle perspective, this is a managed service and is automated. And you have one throat to choke from a resolution perspective. From an operator perspective, let's take a minute to talk about what the value proposition of such a solution for a CSP would be. Infrastructure expectations for a telco operator typically is to have an infrastructure that is best performant for their network functions. It is priced and operationally efficient, and it covers an end-to-end service needs and available at the right time at the right place. Now, in the case of absorbing a hyperscaler solution, there are certain challenges that you have to think through. Ensure that you're not locked in with the specific hyperscaler solution that you have to consume. In most cases, you have to help build one. The margin growth that you can expect is limited to the hyperscaler's share of that specific market that you're going after. And with each hyperscaler solution, you would have various different operating models. Not all of them are the same. Now, from a long-term use perspective, there are cost concerns that you have to think about. It can become cost prohibitive when you think about all the ingress and or egress charges that go into public cloud. Now, when you think about VMware, you're able to broaden your value-added services footprint that you develop. You can now consume a multi-hybrid architecture that takes into account an on-premise solution that you develop, architect into it a solution from a specific hyperscaler, along with another hyperscaler solution to be able to right size and place network functions more efficiently. And given that you have the same operational model across all parts of your network, you are lowering your overall total cost of operations. Now let's talk about what exactly we're introducing in the first release of Telco Cloud Platform Public Cloud. Telco Cloud Infrastructure was introduced as an ETSI-compliant modular platform. Now, this modular platform included NFVI, which is your compute, storage, and network portions of it, along with a infrastructure manager, like a VMware Cloud Director or an integrated OpenStack option. You combine with it for ops, and you have your Telco Cloud Infrastructure stack, on top of which you can include your orchestrator for your network functions, and also a network function manager. And on top of this infrastructure, you would run VNFs, CNFs, OSS, PSS, and other NFV specific solutions. With Telco Cloud Platform, we take this Telco Cloud Infrastructure modular platform, add on Tanzu and Kubernetes so that CNFs can run with this, and include the NFVO that we introduced as well as part of that, which is Telco Cloud Automation. With the first release of TCP on AWS, as we like to fondly call it, what we are introducing is this modular platform that you are comfortable consuming on-premise. We've introduced an NFVI layer with VMC/DC on AWS. We have the Cloud Director service available, which is your VIM, a VNFC as part of Tanzu. Your NFVO that's included, the NFV orchestrator is Telco Cloud Automation, and TCOps and VROP VRLI becomes your MANO, along with TCA, and in this case, the FCAPs. Now, we spoke about quite a lot of elements as part of this Telco Cloud platform for public cloud. Let's talk about a single differentiator that you don't get with other public cloud solutions outside of the common platform. This is Telco Cloud Automation. Network transformation is well underway and modifies all layers of the service delivery. As the cloud gains in importance in the service delivery, there are massive multi-layer innovations starting from infrastructure, application, up to the service layer. The most obvious one is the transition from a central or regional core data centers to a highly distributed cloud ecosystem, including near and far edges, and even traditional public clouds or IT for certain types of workloads. There will be a transition from few data centers to hundreds and more, designed with fragmented technologies such as heterogeneous VIM and Kubernetes. Coupled with these changes in the multiplication of multi-vendor network functions and enterprise applications running on VMs and containers, some customers have already reached the 1,000 VNFs, and we are still early in the journey. Finally, at the network service layer, we are transitioning from today's static mobile core to new services that leverage this new multi-cloud and multi-technology ecosystem. Services that are on demand, more dynamic, and personalized. Even if the cloud by itself brings inherent agility and quality benefits, these changes will have an important impact on operations, on the ability to innovate, and obviously the cost to manage all these components. Automation and orchestration are the right answers to enable organizations innovate while controlling the costs of these rapid and disruptive innovations. The case for automation has been proven in the enterprise market, and the time is now to move these capabilities inside CSP operations and curb the complexity and cost curve. CSPs benefit today of implementing these capabilities, and those benefits will only increase as the virtualization footprint grows. The impact of waiting will be significant, both in terms of missed opportunities, cost, and the complexity to redo sub-optimized processes. Telco Cloud is composed of 4 layers. Infrastructure resources deployed across the network sites from RAN to edge to core and now public clouds. The management and containers as a service, or CAS, layer that enables the infrastructure availability, hosting of multiple technologies and tenants in each site. The network function onboarding and LCM operations. Network functions are now of multiple technologies and vendors, and thus require more and more generic management capabilities. Finally, the network service that chains a suite of network functions. The benefits of implementing a strong layer of orchestration and automation as part of any telco cloud architecture is a given. But the big question is why this has not been more adopted so far. The answer might reside in the type and complexity of solutions available to CSPs today. From one side, you have the network equipment provider that tries to lock in CSP to their network function and offering. And on the other side, you have the OSS, BSS, or open source technologies that offer endless integrations between competing vendors' technologies. Any of these solutions also see the cloud as their last step to their orchestrations, which leads to ongoing onboarding challenges and underutilized cloud resources. Nonetheless, the complexity to evolve their architecture from VNF to CNF or from centralized to heavily distributed data centers with edge sites. That's why VMware has created Telco Cloud Automation to offer a distinctive approach that leverages the cloud to its full potential. We call this approach cloud first because the overall telco cloud stack from the infrastructure to network service orchestration is pre-integrated and constantly synchronized. This approach allows CSPs to orchestrate and automate network functions and services consistently while abstracting the rapidly evolving multi-cloud infrastructure. Furthermore, it streamlines the CSP orchestration journey as the pre-built integrations accelerates the solution time to deploy, and a vendor-neutral philosophy compliant to ETSI MANO standard exemplifies this external integration. Also, contrary to siloed orchestration solutions, CSPs can onboard any standard compliant VNF or CNF from any vendor to build a best-of-breed architecture. In summary, our approach is focusing on 4 pillars to further abstract the network resource management: unified and multi-layer automation, one management system for service, VNF, CNF, VIM, K8s, infrastructure, orchestration and automation with multi-cloud agility across domains, be it centralized management plane across cloud and domains, product and standard-based orchestration, focused on delivering a product and compliance to standards to avoid endless integrations and skyrocketing high professional service fees. A thriving multi-vendor ecosystem with certified network functions. Continue building one of the strongest multi-vendor partner ecosystem to allow CSPs to build a best-of-breed network and avoid vendor lock-in costs and slow innovations. In order to deliver the VMware cloud-first approach, the Telco Cloud Automation solution is built around 4 key modules, which all together form the layers to translate the telco network requirements into multi-cloud resources. Starting with infrastructure automation, with the automated provisioning and configuration of telco cloud software across all network sites, from RAN to the edge to the core. This is a fundamental capability as the number of sites with edge and RAN is expected to grow exponentially. From a cloud perspective, the multi-cloud management connects to every cloud locally and enables the multi-VIM and multi-cloud registrations process and the real-time continuous synchronization of information, ensuring centralized and accurate views on global inventories, utilized and available resources, faults or alarms, and performance. With the advent of cloud-native networks, TCA offers CAS automation, which centralizes the provisioning and management of Kubernetes clusters across registered clouds, a single plane of CAS. The network functions are managed through a generic network function manager that unifies and standardizes the lifecycle management of network functions across any technology, including physical, VNF, and modern cloud-native functions from any vendor, as long as their descriptor and package is compliant to standards. The network service automation provides similar capabilities at the network service layer, chaining network functions of any technology. Telco Cloud Automation can help CSP build use cases that combine network functions in multiple sites through our open, vendor-neutral path as we also enable the creation of network services that span vendors for a true best of breed and flexible architecture. To facilitate the design or artifacts and blueprints, Telco Cloud Automation also offers an easy to use visual composer that equips our partners with templates and artifacts aligned with standards, simplifying the life of CSPs when it comes to time on onboarding and managing these network functions. These were previously 3 to 6 month processes reduced to hours. From a policy and placement perspective, that's where our cloud-first approach makes all of its sense. The engine optimizes the placements by aligning their template requirements with the cloud profiles and resources, which ensure the right placement and better utilization of resources in context of both centralized and distributed network service placement. This approach reduces drastically the rollbacks and retries. This is a view of the key features and functionality that I just spoke about. It gives you a more holistic view on what Telco Cloud Automation brings to the table. So far, we've looked at what from a telco cloud platform, public cloud perspective, and how TCA matches and provides that value proposition. Now let's take a look at some architectures that TCP public cloud enables for our customers. With the components available, there are multiple architectures that we can bring to market. One of those is where you can have a single tenant infrastructure with VNF automation and orchestration. I'm using UDR as an example here, but to stand this up, it takes a short amount of time to be able to hold this up and running and get it running. The other architecture that we support is another single tenant infrastructure with CNF automation and orchestration. So you get all the value of TCA along with a cloud native function that runs on top of VMware Cloud and AWS. With multi-tenancy, we can have multiple network functions running and also make sure that you get the full visibility of the stack so that you can troubleshoot and monitor as and when required. You can now supersize your existing architectures to be able to monitor and troubleshoot those network functions that you want to take a closer look at. And we end with the last option from an architecture perspective. Now, I want to end with a use case that is unique to what VMware brings with Telco Public Cloud, Telco Cloud Platform Public Cloud, and that is hybrid RAN management. When you think about your RAN as it stands today, you have your DU running in Kubernetes at a cell site. The hosts you run using ESXi. Now, today on-premise, you're able to run and stretch your Kubernetes cluster, your workload clusters, all the way to a cell site. Now, so this management of this infrastructure is centralized at the core. If you were to expand that, it would look like this. You have your ESXi cluster, you have your VC, NSX, your TCA, and Tanzu running on top of it with management and worker nodes. Now, this worker cluster can be stretched across multiple cell sites so that DUs can run on those cell sites. Now, this is managed centrally on your on-premise or your own private data center. Now, you can now, with VMware Cloud and AWS or the Telco Cloud Platform, you can now make architectural different decisions where infrastructure leverage can be leveraged from TCP public cloud and have the RAN management pieces running in TCP public cloud, which would give you an architecture such as this, where you have your VMC managing your vCenters and your worker nodes and your management nodes, with these worker nodes running on cell sites. The benefits are that you can now light up new markets much quicker. You have a much quicker stand up of infrastructure. You have very efficient resource placement and management, leading to lower TCO. Your performance, this is latency, timing accuracy, and management via observability, is still continues to be really strong. This is a huge benefit that we think is a big differentiator for telco cloud platform on public cloud. An example scaled out model would look like this, where you could go up to 150 cell sites, and we're working to make this 450 and even more as we bring this solution out to the market. But this is what a key use case would look like. With that, thank you for spending your time with us. In this session, we walk through challenges that telecommunication service providers face when traversing public cloud and on-prem private cloud. We walk through VMware's multi-cloud and cross-cloud strategy. We walk through what VMware's telco portfolio is and how it addresses CSPs' network infrastructure needs. We introduced VMware's telco cloud platform public cloud and telco cloud automation that extends the multi-cloud architecture and solves automation challenges, respectively. We spoke about key architectures with telco cloud platform, public cloud, and some example use cases. As always, feedback makes us better, so please do take the survey. And with that, thank you.
Thank you so much for attending this session, and enjoy the rest of your VMware. Bye-bye now.